Hello, everybody. All right, so hopefully everybody's having. We've reached middle of the week, which means, of course, it's Hump Day. Hope everybody's had a good week thus far. Um, so of course, we're gonna give people a chance to come in here. Um, we'll give them a few minutes to come in before we get started. Anyways, let me just do one more thing here. Anyways, as always, guys, if anything, of course, catches your attention, feel free to of course, to comment and or ask questions. First off, if you can like and share this thing, see if we can get some more friendly people in here. That'd be appreciated. If um, also if anything here grabs your attention, feel free to comment and or ask questions. I will do the best I can to um, I'll do the best I can to, of course, answer the questions to the best of my ability. Anyways, let's just. All right, there we go. Okay, so we are, of course, just waiting a few minutes to give people a chance to come in. Let's see, we're coming up. We're 2.5 minutes. Let's see, Spider Man, radioactive Spider Man, Spider Man, Spider Man, radioactive Spider Man. Do 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 do. Spider Man, Spider Man, radioactive Spider Man, Spider Man, Spider Man. All right. Well, with all that being said, now, okay. So we just passed 3 minutes here. So here's what's on tap for tonight. I got like 4 articles I'm gonna go over from Bounding into Comics, some manga, some comics. Let's see. Beyblade is revving up a new official manga series from Kakegurui author Homura Kawamoto. Um, Naruto manga creator mangaka Masashi Kishimoto to publish a one-shot starring Minato Namikaze. Of course, that's his father. Archie Comics is planning on reintroducing a classic character as a transgender woman. Now, Archie Comics is going the woke route. Boo! uh, and Mark Miller Miller World crossover event as well. So got quite a bit going on here. So we'll get into this. We'll get into this pretty quick here. Let's see. Anybody else here yet? Nope, I guess not. So why don't we go ahead and get started then, since we're alrighty then. So Beyblade revs up new official manga series um, from Kakegurui author Homura Kawamoto, and smaller quotes, High Card co-creator Hikaru Muno, and The Promised Neverland artist Posca Demizu. Article by Nerdigans Inc., published yesterday in the manga section. So here we go. Kakagururi, by the way, just for those of you who don't know, is a gambling anime. Very interesting um, manga anime series about basically Uh, Basically, just going in a private school where you get status points for how lucky and how much of a good gambler you are. So, anyways, Kagagurui author Homura Kawamoto teams with High Card co-creator Hikaru Muno and Promised Neverland artist Posca Dimizu to rev up new Beyblade manga. The time to let it rip is once again upon us, um, as Kakagururi co-creator Homura Kawamoto has teamed with his former High Card co-creator Hikaru Muno and the Promised Neverland artist Posca Demizu for a new manga entry in the eponymous franchise Beyblade X. Oh. Initially announced by Beyblade toy manufacturer Takara Tomy in March, ahead of its 70-page full-color premiere in the recent June issue of Shogakukan's um, monthly Koro Koro Comics, Beyblade X, or Beyblade Extreme, according to its full title, will follow a new generation of professional Beybladers as they risk everything to climb the levels of Tower X as they compete in a world renowned Pro League competition. I got two people here now. And as always, guys, if you guys haven't already, if you guys can like and share the stream, see when we get some more friendly people on here, that'd be appreciated. Also, if anything here grabs your attention, feel free to comment and or ask questions. I'll try to do my best to answer those questions. Anyway, similar to every entry in the series, fans can expect to see new gears, gimmicks, and gutsy moves as its core cast of colorful youths attempt to achieve their Beyblade related dreams. Unfortunately, as an official translation of the lengthy preview comic has yet to be released, um, in parentheses here, the localized pages featured within this article being the product of fans rather than a major publisher, on parentheses. Further details regarding the series cast and plot, including the name of its suitably spiky haired protagonist, remain unknown to English readers. And there we go with that. Notably, Beyblade X marks the fourth official mainline entry in the popular Top Battling series, following the original Beyblade 1999, Metal Fight Beyblade 2008, and Beyblade Burst 2015. However, given the unrelated nature of each entry, it's likely that new fans hoping to enjoy some spinning metal action will be able to jump right into X without having to worry about catching up on the rest of the franchise. Beyblade X currently set to begin serialization within Shogakukan Kan's Koro Koro Comics magazine with its July issue, which will hit Japanese shelves on June 15th. As of writing, no word has been given regarding any English localization plans. However, given that the franchise's previous three entries all received English translations, in parentheses, albeit from various publishers, on parentheses, it's likely X will follow suit. So there you go. That one went kind of quick there. Let's see. Nothing so far. Okay. Anyways. All right. So here we go. Let's see. Let's get to the next. Oh, and of course, after these articles, of course, we'll do the wrestling wrap up and this day in each history as well. So don't forget those night two features. So I just got to do something real quick here. Ah, all right. I see JR did add something there. All right, let's see. Hail Zenu and begin. Yeah, we've been begun for for a few minutes here at least. JR. Naruto mangaka Masashi Kishimoto to publish new one-shot starring Minato Namikaze. Article by Nerdigans published yesterday in the anime. So, for those of you who don't know, of course, Minato Namikaze is Naruto's biological father. The Naruto fans have spoken. After winning the Naruto P99 Worldwide Character Popularity Poll, the fourth Hokage, Minato Namikaze, perhaps better known as Boruto's dad's dad, is about to receive his own brand new one shot. Boruto's dad, in other words, Boruto being Naruto's son, and Minato being the grandfather, of course, of Boruto and the father of Naruto. As part of the Naruto anime's 20th anniversary celebration, the franchise held its first ever worldwide character poll, the Naruto Top 99, to determine who was the absolute most popular character in Masashi Kishimoto's original manga. From December 17th, 2022, to January, so about 6 weeks basically, to January 31st, 2023, fans could cast a vote once per day for their favorite 488 characters available. The top character would then receive a special one shot from Kishimoto himself. Look at that. Riddle with the 20 on his hand. At the conclusion of the poll, after tallying the over 4.6 million votes that were cast via the official Naruto P55 Naruto P99 rather website, the father of the franchise's titular protagonist took home the top spot with a total of 792,257 votes worldwide. Itachi Uchiha took second place with 505,014 votes, while Sakura Haruno ended up in third with 489,619 votes. Oh, pretty interesting. In response to these results, Kishimoto thanked fans for participating, both a personal message and a new illustration commemorating the poll's 22 top ranked characters. Quote, thank you for the incredible amount of votes, unquote, the mangaka explained. Quote, it was fun seeing how results varied from region to region. I was shocked to see Minato at the top for all regions. And the fact that Sakura is so beloved by many people around the world made me proud as a writer, unquote. Wow. That's some interesting stuff right there. we continue on with the article here. Turning to the piece itself, Kishimoto then playfully revealed, quote, to tell you the truth, I was actually rooting for Karama. I was planning on drawing only the top 20 characters, but I really wanted to add Karama, who was close at 22nd. So I ended up including him and Guy, who was in 21st place. Quote, sorry for completely ignoring the original plan to have top 20 characters for the 20th anniversary because of my personal attachment. He apologized. I'm sure that's okay. I'm sure those who voted for Karama and Guy appreciate your efforts there, Mr. Kishimoto. Huh. Bringing his message to a close, Kishimoto confirmed, quote, right now I'm working on the short manga for Minato, who placed first, while trying to make a story that would match the expectations of his fans. I ended up with more pages than I had originally anticipated, unquote. Quote, please look forward to the secret story behind Minato's jutsu, unquote. He concluded, quote, I want to thank you all very much again for voting. Masashi Kishimoto's one-shot manga is coming. Naru Top 99, number 1, Minato Namikaze. While an exact release date has yet to be announced, Kishimoto's special Minato One Shot will be published in Shueisha's Weekly Shonen Jump sometime this summer. Alrighty then. So, for those of you who read Shueisha, you have something to look forward to there. Alrighty then. Alright, so now we're getting into some of the comic stuff here. And you would think that Archie would not, honestly, I would think Archie would not be the type of comic to go this route, but apparently that's exactly what it's doing. Just to show you just how the SJW woke baloney is infiltrating mainstream comics across the board. Let's look at this story. Archie Comics to reintroduce classic Dilton Strange science character Danny Malloy as transgender woman. Article by Spencer McCauley published yesterday in Comic Twitch section. So, after 33 years, so that'd be 1990, I guess, languishing in the dustbin of Archie Comics history, former co-star of Dilton's Strange Science, Danny Malloy, is finally set to return to Riverdale. And thanks to the forthcoming, in smaller quotes, update to her character from writer Magdalene Visaggio, oh boy, she'll be doing so as a transgender woman rather than a biological one. Oh boy. And they think this is going to sell, huh? Yeah, anytime you try to push an agenda, it's like spanning a brief 5-issue run between 1989 to 1990, Dilton's Strange Science detailed the, in smaller quotes, sci-fi exploits of Riverdale's resident nerd, Dilton Doily, whose fantastic adventures included accidentally being shrunk to microscopic size, a la Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, and putting a stop to the evil plans of alien impersonator. Accompanying him in his adventures was Danny, a quick-witted and red-headed teenager who not only had a head for science, but also a romantic eye for Dilton himself. However, after Archie Comics closed the book on Dilton's strange science, so too did they abandon Danny to the annals of time. That was until May 15th when the publisher revealed via Gizmodo's IO9 outlet that Danny would be making her modern era debut in the upcoming Strange Science issue of their currently ongoing Chilling Adventures anthology. I wonder if they're gonna try. I wonder if they're gonna try to basically, I wonder if this writer is gonna actually try to make it sound like transgenderism is another horror category, like being a zombie or a vampire or something like that. That might be an interesting take. A series of one shots which explore the more paranormal activities occurring around Riverdale, and more often than not around one Sabrina Spellman. Danny's issue for the series will see her reimagined not only as the best friend of Archie comic modern version of Little Jinx, but also as a transgender woman. So they're really going off on her, really just tearing the original concept of the character down to push a narrative. That's a real nice thing to do, huh? Speaking to IO9 about the upcoming change, Visaggio asserted, quote, I've been wanting to make this happen for a long time, and it's really cool to see it finally come to fruition. Quote, I never wanted Danny's trans identity to be gimmicky or for her to feel like she was only created to be trans, unquote. Explained the right. Well, that's how it's going to be taken, who herself is also a trans woman. No wonder. Again, pushing the agenda. Yeah, I doubt very seriously this book's going to sell all that much. Quote, so I'd like to apologize for sneaking her over the line like this, unquote. Quote, I wanted you to have a chance to fall in love with her for who she is, not what she is. Well, the problem is announcing it like this is only going to have the exact opposite effect of what you intended. She can quote, I'm honored I got to make it happen, and I'm grateful to Archie for never, not even once, pushing back on my insistence on making their books a little bit more queer. I hope Danny finds a good home at Archie with supportive writers and artists helping to keep her alive for years to come, unquote. In his own statement, issue artist Butch Mappa likewise beamed, quote, I already felt so honored to be doing this one shot, and that was before I learned what the story is about, unquote. So basically what they're doing is they're taking an obscure character that had been buried and just ultimately transforming her. Oh boy. Quote, Magdalene is one of the most important voices in writing today, and I'm thrilled to join her for this chapter in her ongoing story with Danny and Jinx, unquote, he said. Quote, I've been a fan of, in brackets, the issue's colorist, unbracketed, Ellie Wright's work, and am excited to see her wonderful hues over my lines. and of course, the living legend that is letterer Jack Morelli, not to be confused with Dial Tone from G.I. Joe, mind you, completes this amazing group of collaborators I'm blessed with. Magdalene wrote a story that is vital and poignant and brilliant at the same time, while also being a fantastic piece of horror sci-fi. It's got lots of weirdness, emotion, action, and character. Unquote. Offering her own offering her own thoughts, Archie Comics senior director of editorial Jamie L. Rotante opined, quote, Strange Science is one of, if not the most important one-shots we've released to date. It also showcases how versatile horror can be, as it deftly blends sci-fi with horror and tells a beautiful, poignant tale about confronting the past. That's all thanks to writer Magdalene Visaggio, um, who had the idea to have Danny Malloy tell her own story about her transition. Unquote. So yeah, they are using this to push an agenda. They are doing this to push an agenda. But we just needed to figure out the best way to make it fit, and a callback to her character's classic origins, mixed with the new horror surroundings she's been reintroduced and just made the most sense. Um, unquote. Recalled Rotante. I think it's clear to anyone reading this that there is a ton of passion and heart in this story, which was demonstrated on every script page, every comic Mags has worked um, on so far has been my favorite, but it's one really stuck. But this one really stuck with me, and I think it will for everyone who reads it. Butch Mappa delighted us with his work on a horror shot in last year's Happy Horror Days one shot, and not only is his work both gorgeous and grotesque, um, in parentheses here, when the script calls for the latter, of course, on parentheses, but he puts an incredible amount of care into every detail and design he creates. So I'm so proud of this book, but moreover, an horror, it's an honor um, to help bring this beautiful story to life, unquote. She ultimately affirmed. Quote, I'm consistently awed by the amazing talent I have the opportunity to work with, unquote. Chilling Adventures presents Strange Science is on track to beam onto shelves on August 16th. Wow, so Archie is going the woke route now. We will have one more article we'll go through here. We're right on time here. Let's see, 29 minutes. So yeah, just looks like we'll make for. You want to check something real quick here. Oh, wait. Viewing. And they screwed it. Alrighty then. So getting ready to move on. Oh wait, did I even? Wow, I didn't even real. I forgot to. Oh boy, I'm sorry about that, everybody. I didn't even realize that. I was reading off those articles, but forgot to. Okay, so let me just. For those who didn't see all that, who didn't see before there, yeah, I will. And I won't reread the whole stories. I'll just go back and show you guys. I didn't even realize, but just so you guys can see what I saw. Sorry about that. I was reading them, and didn't even realize that I didn't even share them on screen here. So this is from the Beyblade article. This is stuff from Beyblade right here. I'll go through real quick there. So that was the stuff from Beyblade. There's the stuff from Naruto, from the Minato one-shot stuff. Minato right there. There's the Naruto. All right. And then finally, the Archie story, in which character from the past is being reintroduced. So the one on the left is from the original series, the original Strange Science series. I think the one on the right is the new character. Well, the reimagining of the character as a trans woman. Is from Dilton's Secret Science. That's of course from the original comic series. There's some the modern day right here. All right, so there we go with that. So now we'll get to the last article here, of course, which is going to be the Mark Miller article here. And if you guys haven't already, if you guys can like and share the stream, that'd be appreciated. See if we can get some more friendly people here. That'd be appreciated. Let me just check one more thing here before we. Oh. Just one. All right, so we're getting ready to move on to the next article here. Let's see now. This, of course, will be the last article of the evening. Mark Miller announces first ever Miller World crossover event, Big Game, that will also serve as a sequel to Wanted. Article by John F. Trent, published earlier today. Comic book creator Mark Miller recently announced the first ever Miller World crossover event, Big Game, that will also serve as a sequel to his first ever Miller World creator owned series, Wanted. Let's see. In an email, Miller detailed um, Big Game as as the first ever crossover starring all the Miller World characters to mark the 20th anniversary of the company. A big Secret Wars style summer event featuring Nemesis, Kick Ass, the Magic Order, Nightclub, the Ambassadors, Starlight, Kingman, Hit Girl, and the 20 plus franchises we've created these past 2 decades. He also noted that this new crossover event, quote, is also a sequel to Wanted. Yes, Wesley Gibson and the Fox are back, aging in real time, and we pick up their stories where they are right now. Miller also provided additional information on the event to CBR, telling the outlet, always had an idea for a sequel, but I wanted to use all the characters we've been building up over our 20 plus franchises. Quote, I never thought it would be possible as they were all at different studios and owned by different people. Um, but now everything is in house at Netflix. It's a perfect time to do it. Wanted and Big Game are perfect complements to one another. Revisiting these characters after 20 years, they aged where they aged in real time, unquote, Miller reiterated. All right, let's see. All right, continuing on here then. Also, again, if anything grabs your attention, guys, feel free to comment and or ask questions. I'll try to answer the questions to the best of my ability. With that, he went on to provide more details about Big Game. Quote, Wanted was about a guy who finds out that superheroes and supervillains were real, and when the supervillains took over the world, they made us forget the heroes ever existed. The sequel, Big Game, is about those same villains watching the heroes reemerge like weeds again and deciding time to nip this in the bud. We only remember the original heroes, though movies and comic books, and the first of this new wave of heroes and the first of this new wave of heroes to emerge was Kick-Ass. Quote, Dave Lizuski was so obsessed with comic books, he started dressing up and trying to fight crime. But since then, probability had bent and new heroes are emerging all the time. We have Hit Girl, the Ambassadors, the Chrononauts, the Kingsmen organization, guys coming back from space like Duke McQueen, and so on, unquote, he elaborated. Quote, as you saw at the end of Nemesis Reloaded, there are a lot of super people for Wesley and Nemesis to go out there and destroy, and that's exactly where Big Game kicks off in July. We've never crossed these characters over in 20 years, so this feels like Secret Wars or Crisis. It feels like one of the genuinely special summer events, unquote, he detailed. Miller would also reveal on Twitter that he plans to put together a reading order for all of his Miller World titles for those who want to catch up before Big Game arrives in July. He tweeted, quote, "We're going to stick up a reading order for the books this week for anyone who wants it. The whole thing can be read apart, but actually all clicks together as a 50-volume story, believe it or not," unquote. He also reiterated, quote, "I've written the crossover so anyone can read it, but wanted Nemesis Reloaded, The Ambassadors, Kick-Ass, The Magic Order, Nightclub, and Prodigy, especially important, and Chrononauts and Huck." Huck? Is that supposed to be, is that supposed to be kind of parody of Hulk, maybe? The official description states, quote, "Miniseries premiere, the comics event of the summer is here. Okay, this is so top secret, we can't even show you the main cover because it spoils something massive. Just trust us when we say that this is going to be the comic book event of 2023, and it's not what you're expecting." Image Comics adds, quote, "Does the crossover really go that wide? Yet it does. Big Game pulls together Kick-Ass Kingsmen, Nemesis, the Nemesis Magic Order, and all Miller World franchises in one special event. This must be ordered like crazy," unquote. Big Game #1 is written by Miller with artwork by Pepe Larraz. Um, it will feature at least 4 covers, with 2 by Larraz and a third by Frank Quietly. Um, the first issue hits comic book shelves on July 19, 2023. The first retails for $4.99. Do you plan on checking out Big Game #1? So there we go with that one. All right, so that's all of the that's all of the comics news that we have. All the you know comics news we have. So now we're gonna do, of course, the wrestling wrap up. So basically, some health updates from the WWE. I mentioned yesterday, superstar Billy Graham, real name Wayne Coleman, is in critical condition, and he's on life support, having a number of myriad medical issues. The doctors have suggested he be taken off life support, but his wife has declined to do so, knowing that he's a fighter. And she's asked for everybody's prayers and all that. And also, Jerry Lawler is doing better. He had suffered another stroke a few weeks ago, and he's now doing a lot better. Now, of course, WWE is continuing to prepare for next Saturday's Night of Champions. Matches, of course, already signed include for the undisputed World Tag Team titles. The champions Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn will be defending them in Saudi Arabia against undisputed Universal Champion Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa. Gunther defends the Intercontinental title against Mustafa Ali. So that's what we have for you, at least updated on the WWE front. On AEW, of course, AEW has Dynamite tonight, in which now, of course, we'll go over the results and stuff tomorrow. But as it were, tonight's Dynamite, tonight's Dynamite comes from the Moody Center in Austin, Texas. Matches announced for tonight, of course. Ricky Starks takes on Jay White. We'll have Juice Robinson, as Starks looks to get some revenge on Jay White for attacking him last week. Rush takes on Jack Perry in a tune-up match for Jack Perry as he's involved in the four-way title match at Double or Nothing. We'll go over that a little bit too real quick here. Now, Falls Count Anywhere's match, Roderick Strong takes on Chris Jericho, in which in which Adam Cole and all members of the Jericho Appreciation Society have been barred from the building. Now, Sammy Guevara has a match right before that. He had a match right before that. He'll, of course, have to leave right after, taking on Exodus Prime. That's what's going on tonight. Of course, there were some dark matches on as well. So, but and of course, as I said, I'll go over those. I'll go over the results tomorrow, and also give some other notes on that when that all happens. Let's see now. Matches signed for Double or Nothing, which is a week from this Sunday, include an international title, 21-man blackjack battle royal, in which Orange Cassidy will be putting the international title up in a battle royal again, and contenders still seek to be named. These are so already signed prior to tonight. Of course, the four-way match for the AEW World Title, in which MJF defends against Sammy Guevara, Jack Perry, and Darby Allin. And also having previously been signed, FTR defends the AEW World Tag Team titles against Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal, with Mark Briscoe as a special referee. I guess matches signed tonight included the 21-man blackjack battle royal for the international title, in which Orange Cassidy will be defending the title, and then Wardlow defends the TNT title against Christian Cage in a ladder match. Of course, Christian Cage having been having the experience in ladder matches, among other things. Also, hey Jason, let's see what you're asking here. Let's see, what's your favorite I guess you're saying Quebec anime. Well, I don't know, because I don't really go to anime cons anymore. Haven't for years. So, anyways, also, last night's NWA Power, of course, was had a few things going on as we were as they continued to basically make ways for the Crockett Cup coming up in early the weekend of June 3rd and 4th, which I believe will be 2 weeks from this weekend. On last night's edition of NWA Power, Kenzie Page retained the World Women's Television title over Sierra. Kratos and Odison in a pretty good showing, defeated Scion and Jordan Clearwater. Alex Taylor won a triple threat match over Fodder and Koa Laksamana. And then in the main event saw pretty empowered duo of Ella Envy and Roxy defeat La Brava, Escobar, and La Rosa Negra. And it's been announced that there have been 24 teams will be participating in the Crockett Cup this year on the weekend of June 3rd and the 4th from Winston-Salem, North Carolina. And before I continue with that and an updated list of what we know for the teams that are apparently confirmed, that was a typo. It was Quebec. All right, well, if you meant Quebec, well, I'm not in Canada, so I've never been to Quebec, so couldn't tell you anyways. But anyways, back to, and if you haven't already, of course, if you can like and share the stream, see if we can get some more friendly people on here. That'd be appreciated. And I thank you for the likes and shares, of course. But with that, now they did give us kind of an updated on who's confirmed thus far for the Crockett Cup. Of course, NWA World Tag Team Champion La Rebellion will be participating in the Crockett Cup this year. After coming up short the last couple of years, they look to win the tournament outright. But of course, there are a few other teams in the tournament that will have something to say about that, including the United States, the NWA United States Tag Team Champions, the Country Gentlemen of the Legacy, AJ Kazana and his cousin Anthony Andrews. You also have NWA World Champion Tyrus teaming with Chris Adonis. He picked Chris Adonis to be his partner to try to take, again, add another thing of prestige to his resume. NWA World Television Champion Tom Latimer will be teaming up with the professional Rhett Titus to also enter the tournament. You have the former rivals, the veteran duo of Mike Knox and Trevor Murdoch. Of course, Murdoch being a two-time former NWA World Heavyweight Champion and National Champion. And people are going to have to look out for the high-low move that he's known for using, this time using it with Mike Knox. Of course, for those of you who don't know, a high-low move is when one wrestler goes low on an opponent while his partner goes high. So this case is going to be a chop block, clothesline lariat combination with, of course, this is a move that Murdoch used his success in the WWE when he teamed with the late, great Lance Cade to win 2 WWE World Tag Team titles. But they look to, as their former rivals who have shown some respect for each other in recent times, looking to, take home the Crockett Cup. Also, a couple young teams are in the mix as well, as you have, of course, Magnum Muscle of Mims and Dak Draper, who also will get a title reshot against La Rebellion, looking to take the titles off of them after coming up short at 3-1-2. Another young team that will be in the tournament will, of course, be Rush Freeman and Brady Pierce, the Spectaculars, a team that, and there's a lot of great potential there, particularly in Brady Pierce. To me, in terms of look, I see a lot of Barry Windham in him. Tall, lanky, athletic guy. The only thing is, just hasn't really had much of a chance to show what he can do, I think, in the NWA as of yet. I'd love to see him more him and Rush, both as a team and individuals, get a little bit more of a push. But Let's see. Also, of course, having obviously previously qualified for the tournament as well. The James Mitchell duo of Maxi Impaler and Jedias are also confirmed for the tournament. So, quite a bit of names in that tournament coming up. So, with that, we'll start to wind things down a bit here. Is today being Wednesday, May 17th, 2024. Let's take a look back at this day in Nietzsche history. History! So, with that, let's see. 1943, 63, and 98. All right. So, anyways, first stop, we're going to head back 80 years ago today. As on this date, 80 years ago today, the 10th issue of Air Fighters went on sale on this date 80 years ago today from Hillman Comics. Of course, Airboy was a featured the lead feature in this book. Eventually, this book would become Airboy Comics. But on this date, 80 years ago today, the 10th issue of Air Fighters went on sale on this date back in 1943. So, anyways, let's see. JR, you have something? Let's see. I've heard third hand Shinichu creator Chris Chan had all charges dropped against him, but some videos suggesting he is living in a group home. Can you confirm comic book Shinichu creator's status? No, I can't because he's not really somebody I really pay attention to. I don't really pay attention to Chris Chan. All right? I don't know who he is. I have no reason to know who he is. You know? So, anyways, getting ready to move on to the next piece of Nietzsche history here. Let's see now. On this date, 60 years ago today, well, you could argue was the beginning, more or less, of what we know of now of today as WWE. On this date, back in 1963, 60 years ago today, Bruno Sammartino wins the WWF WWF World Heavyweight Champion by defeating Buddy Rogers in a reported 48 seconds, forcing him to submit to a backbreaker. Now, the particular variation of backbreaker they're talking about here is what many wrestling fans know of today is the Canadian rack. It's the one shoulder backbreaker where you lift a guy from a pike position up over one of your shoulders. So that was the backbreaker that Sammartino was using. Through the years, many stories and rumors have circulated about circumstances surrounding the title change, but what results is crystal clear: a championship reign that will last through January 1971, 7 years and 8 months, and a run to this day has not come close to being matched. No film footage of the match is believed to exist, as it was probably at a house show that this happened. And of course, they would not have had any kind of they would not have been videotaping a whole lot of house shows back then. But yeah, so that's pretty much yeah, so that happened 60 years ago today. So one of the common stories is that in training during the time, one of the stories, and part of the reason why they went with a one fall 48-second match here is because supposedly while he was training for the match, Buddy Rogers had suffered a stroke and had just barely recovered enough to be able to even do 48 seconds worth of the match. You know, he had apparently suffered a stroke, and So that's that was which forced him. I don't know if he fully. I think he pretty much he didn't. I don't know if he fully retired at that point, but um, he had a stroke and was basically out of wrestling for a while there. He came back in the late 70s to manage. In fact, as I understand, I think he did wrestle a little bit in the late because he had that famous feud with Ric Flair, like over the use of the name Nature Boy. So, so on this date, 60 years ago today, of course, Bruno Sammartino defeated Buddy Rogers for the WWF World Title, and thereby, of course, thereby giving us what we know of today as a WWE World Wrestling Entertainment. And finally, our last stop on this day in each history, we go back 25 years ago. And on this date, 25 years ago today, Natural Born Kissers, the 25th and final episode of the 9th season of The Simpsons, premiered on this date. On this date back in 1998. The episode saw Homer and Marge discover that the fear of getting caught while making love is a turn on and start making love in public places. It was actually the first episode written by Mark Selman. It was the only episode to be directed by Clay Hall. So essentially the episode Natural Born Kissers, in which, now from one of the other things I'd read too when I was looking at this was apparently initially how they discovered this is that they were, I guess, out in public and were nude, and people were about to discover it. And so that's basically how this all came about. So on this date, 25 years ago today, the 25th and final episode of the 9th season premiered on Fox of The Simpsons Natural Born Kissers. With that, I thank everybody for being here tonight. I hope to see everybody back here tomorrow. And of course, this Friday I'll have Rick Piper from Cross Comics with me as we will be continuing our look back to October 1939, looking back to comics that went on sale at that point. This week we'll be looking at comics that went on sale from Fiction House, including looking at Jungle Comics #1, as well reading from Sheena and Weird Stories of Supernatural and Jumbo Comics. So until tomorrow, bye.